Welcome to the High-Tech Investments News Report for week 37. The news report covers some of the many investments projects High-Tech Investments is currently involved in so you can follow our progress. We hope you will enjoy this news feed and look forward to your comments and remarks.
Hi, Bo here and welcome back to this week's news report, where once again we have plenty of information, plenty of updates also on some of the investment platforms. We have updates also regarding some of our EAs that are running, and especially a nice update here also coming out of EXPERT4X, because the long-awaited updates and basically implementations, both for the previous prop cruncher, now liberator model instead here, and also the same thing is happening for the profit retriever. It also gets a bit of an upgrade. Everything is actually available, and we're going to have a closer look at exactly what that looks like and where we came from and where we are going. So definitely stay tuned to the channel until the end of this video. Please get yourself a cup of coffee. It won't last more than 20 minutes or so, but everything will be highly compressed, so you will be updated in the shortest period of time possible. Now, I know I mentioned these items here before when we started off with the yield notes, but again, I feel I have to sort of kind of warn everybody here that the deadline is fastly coming up. If you want to claim your NFT or not, obviously it is not a requirement. You haven't lost everything that is coming out of yield notes, at least not yet. We are definitely hoping the platform is coming back at full blast, either at the end of the year or at least the first quarter of 2024. But again, this is just to remind you here that there is a deadline fastly approaching. It will be running out on 1st of October and basically at midnight UTC +2. And again, it will not erase your yield notes balance, but the advantages associated with the NFT ownership, such as self-governance of your balance, the 100% buyback terms, potential market appreciation, and more, will be forfeited. So the best thing you can do is basically have a look at the links that has been sent to you previously from yield notes. Go and have a look exactly what that means. There's a table of contents in here, similar to what you see on the screen. Basically run through it, figure out, okay, what is yield notes all about? What are the changes in here? There's a couple of tutorials, community videos on this. And also at the same time, we know that Steve, the CEO, has also mentioned that there will be a video coming out with him again sometime here in September. The date has not been set yet, so obviously we need to be on the lookout for this one and obviously share that once it comes through with you here. Now let's go over to the Decenomy coins. Don't forget, all this is happening on the shared masternoding for the iHostMN website here. And again, this week we have a look at SAPP, Sapphire coin, and return on the investment per year at the moment on that particular platform hasn't really changed anything. It was 58.5% last week. It is down by 0.25%, so no big deal. And as I mentioned quite a few times before, it will variate from time to time, even from hour to hour sometimes. But overall, that is a good indication. Now, if we have a look at the shared masternoding that we had last week, we ended up at almost 214%, now up to 218.7. So we have actually made more than 4.5%. So definitely very good when we talk about the coins themselves. But when we have a look at the overall coin development, so basically the price of them, it has gone the wrong way, and it's actually gone so much the wrong way this time around that this is the lowest we have ever seen SAPP, at least in our portfolio here. It was at minus 82%. Now it's at minus 85.62. So definitely still not going in the right direction, but we didn't expect it to either, because we have to wait and see exactly what's going to happen until the end of the year, beginning of Q1. That's where we think things will be moving, if they are moving. Now the graph itself looks like this, and as you can see, it's starting to be pretty flat. There's not much lower to go, basically. So again, we'll have to see how the development is. It all depends on also what is going to come out in this video here in September. What is Steve's going to tell us? What exactly does he have of news? Is it an extended timeline, or is it actually moving the timeline up so that we can see good news already here in 2023? We don't really know yet. If we have a look at PNY, also PNY gives a good return on the investment. Nothing much has changed. It was 49% last week. Now it's down to 48%. so not a big deal. If we have a look at the shared masternoding, we can see that that one is up, and we basically have made about 13%. So obviously that is fairly good since last week. And then overall coin development, again, it is pretty much in the same stable range as there has been before. We are getting more coins, but we are not really moving forward at the moment. And again, as with all the other Decenomy coins, we don't expect anything big to happen. So for a while, until the end of the year, or as I mentioned, the video from Steve comes out, hopefully with some positive news, because you can see the graph down here. It is flat as a pancake. It has been like that for many, many months now. And there's only good news that will basically lift this one up from here. Now, having a look at the last one we have, which is Birake or beer. And also again here, it is linked together with the exchange. Last week we had 110% return on the investment per year. Now it's down to 104, but still pretty much okay. And when we look at the overall points here again, we have about 13.5%. So from the past week, and that is very, very good. Normally we look around 10%, but it seems to be a bit higher overall, which is great. But again, as I mentioned before, overall coin development, yes, it has moved a bit forward, so a couple of percent, but again, very, very small steps. And if we have a look at the graph, we can see that it's pretty much flattened out at the moment, so at that particular level, and then we'll have to see in the next couple of months where it's going to take us. Now, if we also have a look at Bitcoin and versus USDT, so we have seen Bitcoin has been on the move downwards lately, and it managed to get all the way down this week to 24,900. Since then, it has been moving up again with a high of 26,896. And right now it's bobbing around the 26,530 mark. And obviously having a bit of volatility in there again, apart from the sideways movement, is definitely a nice positive sign for the ones who wants to trade Bitcoin. BNB versus USD has a similar graph pretty much, but a bit less volatility in here. We left it slightly higher than what it is now, so about 215 last week. Since then it went all the way down to about 203 and then moved itself up, similar to Bitcoin again, up to 213. So good development overall, but still very far from the all-time highs at the moment on both currency pairs. Now, if we have a look at the listing of Trillant and the Trillant platform itself, I mentioned here before that there was a new recovery phase in here, and it looks like things are actually not moving as fast as basically the CEO wanted it to, and we had a feeling that that was going to be the case, because people should have been able to take their money out already, but things are not ready on the listing for the exchange itself. It says it's coming very soon, but obviously again, this has not been organized in the right way, and again, it looks a bit amateurish. Now they have a bit of an information coming out, and I can quickly read through this one here also, just to explain what it is happening. It says if you log into xt.com and search for Trill on the spot, you'll find it. It is not yet unlocked, but it's already searchable. And obviously that is nice to know, but you can't really use it for anything if you want to take some of your tree out. If it has been unlocked, we'll inform you immediately with a newsletter, and we're sure about that, or they will come back with a bit of a word salad again. When it's ready, you can get first at xt.com. Coinstone needs more time, and at the bottom, deposit the Trill receipt valid code and paste it into the Trillant dashboard under profile at the very bottom and save it. So basically you can go and familiarize yourself. All the details are on the platform itself, but obviously you cannot take anything out yet. The Trill receipt wallet code must first be deposited on the profile. Only then can you send the tree external. So this is the new section. It's not for the members that didn't opt into the new version here. Can go onto the exchange. Currently this is not possible. The Trillant is not released yet, but we are close to it, which is nice to know, of course. But promises were different. Promises were the things were going to be happening straight off the bat. And again, this is another big disappointment basically from the platform. Now, if we have a look at CoinStore, just see where it is at the moment. We left it at about 0.0001996. Since then, it has been moving mostly sideways, and right now it's at 0.0001892. So it is close to where it was last week. but we don't see any movements either up and down. I think everybody is currently waiting to see what's going to happen. And again, if you don't get the payouts, then nobody is interested in buying more coins. Some of them have already put extra money in here, as we mentioned previously. But if you can't then now take the new ones out either, like the old ones, well, what does it matter? Well, what matters here is the money tree, because we have seen that has been very, very low on the trading side itself. And definitely this week here, it is not a printing error. It is pretty much the currencies has been traded on the low, medium, and high risk platform, as you see here, ended up at exactly same dollar amount. So don't forget the low risk one is actually trading with a lot more pairs than the medium and high one. But we ended up trading the same currency pairs all through the accounts, and they ended up at the same amount at $51.30, or for the low risk one, 0.8%, the medium risk 1.1%, and then 1.4% for the high risk. Obviously, it depends on how big the account size is. So it's good news that we see some nice positive numbers coming out of the money tree, and it is also trading again, but it's certainly going very, very slow. Also a bit slow side here at the moment is the week 36 for the top 5 EAs for the profit retriever. It is very low compared to what we have seen previously, and a lot of people have basically, not only from our signals, but a lot of other signals at EXPERT4X and other robots have also had the same issue here, where the low volatility, the low part of the trading, basically shows that there's not much profit to be had at the moment compared to previous months. Now, if we have a look at the top one in the top 5, it's the FTSE 100 at $441, 4.4%. That is obviously very low for the number 1, but anyway, we'll take it any day of the week. Aussie Japanese number 2 signal was at $360, so 3.6%. US 30 index here, which is always nice to have up there, so it always peaks in, $294, so 2.9%. Euro New Zealand is in number 4 position with $176, or 1.8%. And then we have the Aussie Japanese at $126, or 1.3%. So overall, if you would have traded those 5 EAs in the past week here, you would have made $1,397, or 2.8%. And definitely, as we mentioned before, very, very low compared to what we are used to. But the good part is, again, here that the profit retriever, even though the market is a bit difficult, still making cash. And you can see that also here for our entire portfolio of all the EAs. Basically, history now of 547 days, so very close to 550 soon, yeah. So by next week, weekly returns 2.1, monthly returns 9%. Don't forget, we are not escalating the lot sizes. We keep the lot sizes all the time, like each and every account is at $10,000, and that's why the monthly return is actually a lot higher. So if you took those money out and continue to trade that instead, you will see a lot higher percentage. But anyway, what we saw last month, end of August, was we already saw a bit of a slowdown in profits. It was only at $17,385. And for this month, it is also very, very slow so far, $5,868. Definitely not where we want to be. But again, as long as we are making money and not losing it, that's the important part. You can obviously find a lot more details on our website, and we also mention that every single time we do videos here, because it is very important that you yourself can go and see exactly the data that we are talking about here every single time. You can see the portfolio trading. You can see also the special FTMO $200,000 trading portfolio in here, which is in a bit of a drawdown, definitely way over the FTMO rules, but it's still working, and you can obviously use it not just for FTMO, but for your own trading if that's what you want. And right below you have the individual markings for the currency pairs, where you can go and have a look at those and see how they have developed over the past 400 or 500 days. Most of them are really, really old signals. We have added some new ones as we found some interesting settings for them. Now also we have our 4-week weekly review. So, and that is one we're doing every single week, but we are looking 4 weeks back. And also here we can see a reduction in profits overall. As you can see, if you would have traded the 10 signals we talk about in this particular video here, which you will also find in the description below, you will end up with only $9,000. That is one of the lowest basically profits since we started this particular series, but it doesn't mean that things are going really, really bad. They are just slowing down, and it's down to the Forex market at the end of the day, not so much the robot themselves. We could update and adjust them, but then when the market really picks up again, you could have a heavy drawdown or even a margin call on some of the accounts, and we certainly don't want to do that. Now, more details and information, as usual, can be found on our website here, and we always refer to that, as I mentioned. If you want to trade the profit retriever, you can go and find a lot of details on how you can get started for yourself, where we help you basically what we have done, how we have traded things, or if you are not interested in all this and spending so much time on it, you can go to the copy link trading. That will lead you over to EXPERT4X copy link service. You can find some of our signals there, plus a lot of other traders. And there is more than just the profit retriever also here. You have the trade explorer, you have the money tree, you have many other ones, and even some that are trading manual parts. What you won't find anymore here is the spaghetti trader, as you see below. We have taken that one off. We mentioned that in the last week's news report, that we gave up on this particular one. We can't really find any stability or any steady progress over time here. So we have put that aside as a not recommended EA. But on the other hand, even though it comes from EXPERT4X, where they make quite good robots, sometimes things simply doesn't work out. And this was a test that was done. And on the other hand, it was also for free. So at the end of the day, you haven't really lost much other than a bit of time, but hopefully also gained some experience. Now, if we have a look at the Trade Explorer I just mentioned here before, also this one shows very, very low profits at the moment, again, because of the market. Works very similar to what you have on the Profit Retriever, also on a grid part, but this particular one here is actually going with increased lot sizing instead of what we have on the Profit Retriever. We have decreasing ones. But the 22 pairs ended up only making $104 or 41 cents or 0.7%. And then the 10 pair one did 261 or 1.8%. So again, it was okay. The drawdown was extremely low also for these particular months. And that is one of the trademarks of the Trade Explorer, that when you have low drawdowns, you seem also to have low profits. When you starting to have higher drawdowns, then they're basically cashing in on the way when the market turns again, and that's where you will have some big profits, some big steps up. And as I mentioned here before, we did have one of them. This was the 10 pair account that basically crashed. It has been going very well since then. As you can see here, we had minus 2,662 that we lost out. Since then, it has been a bit slow recovery, definitely, where we're only making somewhere around $200 or $300 per week, but we are making something. And this particular week here was very low at 174. So it's going to take a bit longer than we expected to recover back to where we were before. Now, we also made a new video this particular week, and that's from the Trade Explorer. We have been asked by many traders if we could please share the Trade Explorer signals that we have had on our website. So again, the 22 pair and the 10 pair. And finally, we discussed with Alex, we're going to put this one on, and it should now be available here. Basically, you can join EXPERT4X copy link service, and then from there on, you will see exactly what is happening. We are going through the signals again in here, just to show the drawdowns, the profits, what you can expect in the future. So definitely, if you haven't seen this video yet, it is worth a look. What is also worth having a look at is EXPERT4X and Alex. He is back in Australia again after his summer vacation. And basically, he has sent this particular out, reviewing the FTMO link accounts. So these are some of the accounts that was set up now quite a few months ago. And he goes through which ones are doing well, which ones are not doing so well. So if you're interested in those, then go and have a look at this particular video here. The next part is the key to the Forex trading success that he's talking about. And this is something that we also use already. Basically, it is the ratio in between how much money you're making compared to the drawdown of the individual EAs. So you want the best profit ratio as you probably can, and he's going to explain a bit more in detail on exactly how that works. Last but not least, we also have the new launch, so basically of the RSI Liberator and the Wave Liberator, and again, these are the trading robots that we have been talking about now for quite a few months ago. They have changed their names. It was previously the Profit Retriever, it was previously the Prop Cruncher. And just to show you the changes in here, so the Profit Retriever, the new EA is now called the RSI Liberator. Basically, it's a new entry point. So instead of continuous trading, what is now happening here is that there will be a trigger, and Alex explains a bit in that particular video. I just showed you here exactly when it starts trading. So what is exactly the hook of this, so that it doesn't have the same continuous trading as we previously had with the Profit Retriever, which could give various signals depending on when you started the EA. The second part is the Prop Cruncher, which has now changed over to the Wave Liberator. And also in the same video, he explains a bit on what exactly does that mean when you're looking candles and looking at the waves in here. When will the entry be? And again, very, very interesting details, especially if you are really interested in FTMO trading and some very low drawdown trading also. Both of them, I believe, is going to be excellent in the future. We'll have to see. We do more tests of it, and obviously if you subscribe to the channel, you will be one of the first ones to know about this and how it goes in the future. And that's what we had for you in this week's news report. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope once again that you learned a bit of something either on the platforms or the trading that we have. And hopefully I'll see you on one of my next videos very, very soon. Bye-bye.
I hope you enjoyed our news report. So please don't forget to like and add your comment below, as we would love to get your feedback. But before you go, make sure you subscribe to the channel and don't forget to keep the notification bell turned on. That way, you will never miss any of our future videos. We hope to see you back on this channel very soon.